Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So this is gonna be the part 2 to our story time from the previous video. Sorry about my voice, I am a bit sick right now. So yeah, this video stay tuned for the very end of the video because I will be showing you guys how my finger looks and what really happened that day. I found some clips from the day of the accident, so I did insert some clips in there from the actual date. And yeah, I just kind of want to let you guys know I was very nervous about posting this video and about doing this video in general because I know people can be mean, but I just kind of wanted to do an awareness video for everybody. I don't blame anybody at all. I fully 100% take responsibility for what happened that day because I'm 100% responsible for the actions I take. So yeah, it was all an accident, but I definitely would have wished it wouldn't have happened, but it did and I learned from it. And yeah, stay tuned and thank you guys for watching.
You know what? I'll go by myself. So I said no, and I shut the door and I told them that I was gonna go with them. And I just told our friend, and I just said keep driving. But we were about like 25 minutes away. Yeah. 25 to 30 minutes away from the hospital. The closest hospital which they wanted to take me to was Doctors.
Because I was the closest one. But
hold on. Yeah, so then the closest one was Doctors, and that's the one that they were gonna take us to. But so whatever. So we're driving, and they're saying, you know, that they're gonna take me to the hospital, but you know, I got to calm down myself. The pain was very bad, but I was like, you know what, I have Kaiser, I want to go to Kaiser is where I'm gonna go. And they're like, well, that's like 10
that
minutes.
Was adding like 15 minutes
more.
Yeah,
but I was like, no, I can do this, I can take it. I said, take me to Kaiser. So I me aguanté 15 minutos más to get to Kaiser. We get to Kaiser and I'm like, oh, just the amount of relief I felt when we got to Kaiser. I was still in pain, but I'm like, oh, they better put me to sleep. They better do something to get the pain away. So we get to Kaiser and I go in and I'm crying and I'm sitting
and then
down.
Like just have this image in your head. We're walking in the emergency room and I have Vanessa's hand bleeding everywhere. I'm covered in blood.
We're covered in dirt.
And blood, and then everybody's just looking at us like, oh my god, what happened? Because Vanessa's still crying. And everybody's just like, oh my god, what happened, you know?
So
they took her in right away.
Yeah, right when I get there, some lady, her first nurse, like takes me in and she goes like, what happened? And I briefly explained to her, and then she's like, okay. I got so mad, you guys, because when I got there, they're like, you have your Kaiser card, and I'm like, it's in the car. And they're like, okay, well, we need your Kaiser card. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why
like,
would
I'm bleeding out here.
I'm bleeding out here. Why would I come to Kaiser if I knew I didn't have Kaiser? You know? But so whatever, they do that and they bring me in and I'm like, I have my back to like the people in the waiting room, and I can remember just like feeling them all staring at me because I'm crying. They take us into an emergency room and she's sitting next to me still. She went in with me, my sister and our friend stayed in the waiting room. And so the nurse, obviously a nurse walks in first, you know, that was gonna be my nurse, and she goes, okay, like let's see what happened. And whenever they would look at my hand, I'd look away. The only time I ever looked at it was that one time when I looked at it when I got off the razor, and after that I kept my eyes away from it the whole entire time. And so when she asked to see it, I just looked back like this, and I gave her my arm, and then I just heard her say,
she's like, oh my god. And I was like, really, lady? I was just like,
you guys, when you have an injury and you hear that, you just start panicking more because you're like, holy fuck, they've never seen this. They're nurses, they're in emergency, and it's like is it that bad, like, you know? And she's like, oh my god, this is bad, like what did you do? And I just like explained to her again, and I'm panicking more, and then whatever, that happened. And then so then the emergency doctor comes in and I'm crying in pain. That doctor was so rough, you guys. Like I think at that point, like the blood was kind of stuck to the shirt, and he was like just like grabbing my hand like nothing, like just like let me see this, like.
Yeah, but then also you have to keep in mind that doctors they're not gonna be like, oh, they're gonna be like, let me grab your hand, I need to get this done, like, as you know, like You have to keep that in mind, that doctors are rough like that. Even if it's fucking like anything, like they're gonna be rough because the way they're trained is like, just do it, you know, like, you know. Anyways,
so then whatever, he comes in, he's very rough, and I'm just crying even more because I'm in more pain because he's moving my hand around. And then he goes, okay, you know, like I'm gonna inject you with anesthesia. They injected me with anesthesia in between my knuckles 3 times, so once, twice, and then 3 times, like in between my knuckles. And then I slowly started to feel my hand numb up, but it's numb where I could handle the pain, but I could still feel pain. You know what I mean? It's just very hard. If you've never experienced it, it's very hard to explain, but it felt 20 times better than not having anesthesia, but I could still feel some amount of pain. So then I start, you know, I'm a little bit more calm, you know, I'm in the doctors, and I'm like, okay. And at this point, you guys, like, I'm thinking, oh, you know, like, it's fine, I'm just gonna get a couple stitches, like, well, what's the worst?
What she thought was that her finger was just like, she thought that this part of her finger
was just like open, yeah.
Yeah. And at that point, I seen it hanging, fuck, you know, like I seen it, like at that point, I had seen her finger so many times already that I was just like, in my head, I was just like, fuck, like, I don't know how they're gonna fix this, like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I didn't know, like.
So then, so he injects me, he goes, you know what, we're gonna get some, what is it called, x-rays? We're gonna get some x-rays, and we'll see, you know, what happens. So, you know, he takes, he leaves, and the x-ray guy comes in, he takes x-rays of my hand, and then in the meanwhile they had my hand like soaking in like I think, I don't know, not water, I don't know what it's called, saline. It is saline, I think it's saline. They had my hand like soaking in saline, and the whole entire time I was like, cover it up, I don't want to see it, cover it up, cover it up. So then whatever, they take x-rays, and by that time it had already been like half an hour that I'm in the waiting room, and all of a sudden I start feeling the pain come back 40-50 times worse. Like, I feel the pain coming back, and I'm like, oh my god, and I start to yell, and I'm like, I start to yell in the emergency room, like everybody can hear me, and I'm like, oh my god, and I tell the nurse, and I think there was a button, I pressed it, and I was like, I can feel the pain coming back, I feel the pain coming back, I need more anesthesia, and then she goes, okay, you know, like, I'll call the doctor again. And so she calls the doctor comes in, and he goes, okay, you know, the anesthesia I gave you was only for half an hour, we were waiting for a stronger anesthesia that's gonna last about 8 hours. And I said, okay. So he brings in a longer lasting anesthesia that was gonna last 8 hours, and again he injects me again in between my knuckles. He comes in and he shows me the x-rays, and he goes, okay, quite frankly, he was blunt to the point, and he was just like, quite honestly, you know, I think you're probably gonna lose your finger, you know, this is not something I can just stitch up. That was exactly his words, and I just started busting out in tears. And he goes, you know, you shattered your bone, the tip of my finger, like my whole nail, like that, what, a joint, I guess, I just completely crushed it. The bone was like crushed. And he said, you know, you can't repair bone like that. He goes, you know, but your nerves are still working, and you know, I'm not a bone specialist or orthopedic surgeon, so I'm gonna talk to a specialist, and we'll see if, you know, something can be done, if he can save it. And I'm just crying, and before that I had already called my mom, and I had told her, you know, hey, I'm in the hospital. My mom was so mad, like, what happened? And I was like, you know, it's fine, like, I'll be home within 2 hours. Like, in my head I still thought I was getting stitches. And then when he told me that, I just started busting out in tears. And I called my mom again, and I said, you know, like, I'm gonna lose my finger. And she goes, are you serious? And I said, yes. And
I remember I wasn't there with her no more, and I remember she texted me that too. And when she texted me that, I was just like I don't even know how I felt. I was just like, oh my god, like, because it was just like what I was thinking the whole time was just like being confirmed, you know. And I was like, what the fuck, like, it was already really late too, and I was just like,
yeah, by this time it's already like 10 10, 11.
It was probably like 11 something.
11 at night. Because when we got to the hospital, I think it was like 9:30 already. So then it's already 11, and I call my mom and I told her that, and she goes, you know, do you want me to go? And I said, no, you know. So then the doctor tells me, you know, that he talked to the orthopedic surgeon, and he said that he thinks he might be able to save it, and that, you know, I was gonna go into surgery the next morning. So I said, okay, whatever, and I'm still keeping hope that, you know, they're gonna save my finger. I'm keeping hope, and I'm like, you know, everything's gonna be okay. And I tell my mom, like, you know, don't come right now, like, you know, I'm just gonna stay here for the rest of the night until the morning when I get surgery. I said, come in the morning when I have surgery. So so I'm in the emergency room, and they switched me off to a I don't know what it's called, the rest room. I don't know, it's just like a private room, where, you know, to sleep and stuff. They changed me to another room. They put an IV in me. I couldn't eat anything because I remember I was very hungry, and they said that I couldn't eat. That's why they were putting the IV in, because I guess when you're in surgery, you can't eat before, because if you're in surgery and you're asleep, you can throw up and like basically choke yourself. So I couldn't eat. They took, you know, they put an IV in my arm, and they took some blood samples or whatever, and they put on the finger, you know, I don't know what it's called, and then like a thing to keep track my blood pressure or whatever, and monitor or whatever. And they moved me to the other room, and I changed out of my clothes, and they put me in a gown, and my hands wrapped up in like I don't know, you know, just wrapped up in gauze and stuff. So and blood still seeping through. But I remember they told me to keep my hand elevated, so I had a bunch of pillows underneath my arm, so I was like this, trying to keep my hand elevated. And obviously everything in the hospitals is white, so I just kept bleeding out through the pillows and through everything. And then they switched me off to a different nurse, and by this time it's already like 3 in the morning, and I'm like freaking out, and I'm like, okay, I need to fall asleep. I'm gonna get surgery in the morning. And so soon enough I fall asleep, and I wake up at about 6 in the morning to a nurse waking me up, and he goes, you know, okay, we're gonna get you ready for surgery. You're ready, you're gonna get surgery. Doctor's gonna come in and explain everything. So he wakes me up, takes, you know, my blood pressure and everything, and then the doctor comes in. He takes a look at my hand. He said, you know, I'm gonna try to save it, but quite frankly, I don't think I'll be able to save all of it. So I'm already a little bit scared. I'm scared. I've never been in surgery. You guys, I don't want to cry. So the worst thing ever that I felt during that time was when I seen my parents walk in. Because when I seen my parents walk in, I seen my mom's face and I seen my dad's face, and their face was just like sad, like just like this feeling. Like I felt so bad to have them see me like in a hospital bed. Like it's the worst feeling. You never want to like cause your parents pain, and to have them there, I just started like crying. Like, you know, I never wanted for my parents to see me in a hospital bed. So my parents get there, and they're just very nervous, just like I am. And so I'm in the gown. They switched me off to a surgery bed, or those beds that you can like move around the hospital. I don't know what they're called.
The one, yeah,
just one of those beds, and they cover me up with a bunch of blankets and socks or whatever, and they put the stickers, I don't know what they're called, the body stickers to take like monitor you or whatever. And yeah, I go into surgery, and then the anesthesia guy says that, you know, he's just gonna inject regular anesthesia, and I said okay. And I'm in there, and then he says, you know, okay, I'm gonna inject it now, and I said okay. He injected it, and it's an anesthesia where you don't really necessarily like fall asleep, you just kind of go out of it.
Kind of like dazed out.
Yeah.
you're not asleep, but you don't really know what's going on. Like,
yeah. So I'm kind of like, I'm awake, but I'm kind of just looking up at the ceiling, and at first I can feel them grabbing my hand, and then after that I just feel no sensation at all, and I'm just kind of staring up at the ceiling and stuff, and kind of like staring at the anesthesia guy. I couldn't look to the side because I had like a blanket covering me over here, and or like a sheet or whatever, and I remember thinking like, why am I not asleep? And I remember kind of like telling the anesthesia guy like why am I not asleep? I said, and then he goes, you're not supposed to fall asleep, like, you know, you're just supposed to be a little dazed out. He goes, but I'll give you a little bit more. And so I remember he gave me a little bit more, and I just felt very, very a heavy sleep. I felt a very heavy sleep, and I just kind of started to close my eyes, and then I remember like it felt very quick to me. It felt like 20 minutes, but apparently they said it took like an hour, I guess, or 50 minutes, something like that. And yeah, the doctor, you know, comes up to me. He goes, you know, we're done. And then he goes, I couldn't save all of it. I can only save most of it. You know, you lost the tip because the bone was completely crushed. And yeah, so that's basically it. I lost a piece of my finger. Dun dun dun.
dun dun dun.
And I honestly, you guys, at first I was very depressed. I was very sad because obviously I mean, I didn't lose a whole arm, I didn't lose my whole finger, I didn't lose my hand, but it's very sad, and you know, kind of like, I mean, losing a part of your body, you know, it's you know.
And then honestly, to be quite honest, you can't even tell.
I'll show you guys right now, of course. I'm
but
not
like
gonna leave you guys.
if she doesn't say nothing, you can't tell unless like she's doing something like literally right in front of you, you know. But other than that, like, you can't, like, it's not like super noticeable where it's like, oh my, like, you can't, it's like, anyways.
So I'll show you guys. If you guys have noticed in some of our videos, I kind of try to hide it because I'm not quite 100% comfortable with it, but I'm still getting there, you know. Okay.
You can't, I mean,
I'm very, right now, like, as it's been 6 months already, so I make jokes about it all the time, and I'm sarcastic.
But even though I feel like she's the only one that can make jokes, like, I would never joke about it, like, I
make jokes all the time, like, I'd be like, I only have 9 fingers and a half, like, but yeah, okay, so let me show you guys my regular hand. So this is my regular hand, this is how my regular hand looks like, and this is my other hand. Yeah. So I have obviously no nail. It's just to pee you guys off. Yeah. It's just I lost basically, which is
so you know how our fingers is literally like in 3 parts. So she lost the top part.
The top joint, yeah. But so that's it. I mean, it wasn't too bad. Recovery, it took about 3 weeks, I want to say. Getting my stitches off, I think, was even more painful than anything because I had no anesthesia, no nothing when they take the stitches off, and it was very painful. I was on I was on narcotics, ibuprofen and antibiotics for about the first 2 weeks. I was on narcotics. I actually still have some. They told me, you know, you have to take 4 narcotics a day. I had to take like 10 pills a day for the first 2 weeks, and then they were like, you know, once you feel like you can handle the pain, stop taking the narcotics because it is narcotics. You can get addicted to it. And the narcotics would make me very, very dizzy. I felt very high. It's like a very like weird high. But yeah, I recovered, and at first I would kind of hide my finger with just band-aids all the time, and but now I just have it open, I have it free, and I kind of just don't really show this hand a lot.
Yeah, like I'll notice sometimes like you'll just have it in your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've noticed.
I'll have it in my pocket.
But I mean, it's understandable.
Or I'll go like this a lot.
Yeah.
I don't really go like this. I'll go like this. But I'm trying to be more comfortable with it, which is why I kind of just wanted to give it out there already, because I know in a lot of videos it's kind of weird because I'll only be moving this hand. But I'm trying to come to terms with it. Yeah, but this is kind of just like an awareness video for you guys that, you know, things can happen to whoever, whenever, and it's just, you you know, you need to be more careful with, you know, things. Ever since both of us haven't gone riding anymore, and I think it's just a matter of time until we feel more comfortable and stuff.
And I feel like, even like, I don't know, like how we feel about it, like honestly, like I still wouldn't want to go on like that. And even like in a car, like I know a car can't flip like the Razor did, but like,
well, yeah, it can.
Yeah, it can, but you have to be doing some crazy shit. Like the other day, my friend was driving all crazy, and he literally took a really crazy turn, and I freaked out, and I was like, you know what? I was like, pull over, I'm getting off. I was like, I'm not fucking driving. I'm not fucking getting on the car. Like, I started crying, remember?
Yeah.
And I called Vanessa. I'm like, come fucking pick me up. And then it was just like, but my point here is that like, it's still like, I don't know how to explain it.
You're still anxious about it. You still get anxiety.
Yeah.
And it takes time to, you know, to just think. I feel like I would get back on one. It's just there hasn't really been a time or a chance to. But
I don't know.
It would have to be, you know, very slow driving, you know, steps, you know, baby steps, I guess. But yeah, I think we're gonna end the vlog here.
Yeah, with a really long story time.
Really long story time. We're already almost home, so thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Please subscribe, you guys, so that you guys don't miss out on any of our videos. And like this video if you guys liked it.
Feedback, please.
We like feedback. I know some people are kind of shy of giving us
like
feedback.
Some people feel like we'll take it like the wrong way, but we don't. Like we really do. Like I know some like we definitely do. Like if like somebody tells me something, I'm not gonna be like, oh this person. Like no, we take it positive. We take it positively.
We take it as constructive criticism.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and see you